How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Let's try to take two of this.
What?
Let's try to take two. The recording didn't work out too well.
I'm trying to get my earpiece to fucking work here.
But the first time the recording didn't go that well, so. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Right here.
Okay, I see that we're live and it looks terrible. And we just look all mad right now. We look a hot mess right now.
Cody, what are you thinking about? It's like you thinking about something. Like you balls even a thought. Alright, start us off.
What are you talking about? He has no video.
Yeah, he does. I'm watching him.
Alright, we got video?
Your voice sounds
different
different.
to you.
Wait, what?
Your voice was sounding different than the other headset.
Yeah, this one's a lot more crisp. I got this.
Alright, I'll turn you up. You're good.
Alright, so, we ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Go for it.
Ready? Let's do this. Hang a gong, we are on, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of the Shed Podcast. We're doing this episode remotely. I want to go ahead and let everybody know that we're going to be doing a once a week episode. And if you miss us, it automatically loads up to YouTube. So if y'all miss it, y'all can catch up on it, on what y'all missed on. And basically these episodes are going to be what's happening in the week of professional wrestling with the WWE. Also leading up to the Bash in Berlin pay-per-view, which we're not going to be doing live. We will be doing remotely because our buddy Justin is going to be on vacay with the family. So we're going to go ahead and record ahead of time and post on the day of Bash in Berlin, like 2 hours prior to the pay-per-view. So look forward to having the viewers and the listeners check us out and let us know what y'all think. Be sure to drop a, subscribe, share, comment, whatever. Help the Shed Podcast become bigger than what it's ever been. Because from the first episode we did actually really great. We had some interaction. And we have some things
we have some things that we need to work out, like mics need to be fixed, but don't worry, we're going to have brand new equipment.
We're still working on it, guys, but look, here's the thing.
A couple of screws need to be tightened up, but it ain't nothing we can't handle.
And we're going to go ahead and work it to make it better for you guys, because that's the thing is, we're here for you guys. We're having fun, we're having a ball. We're just three guys in our houses or three guys in the shed.
That's it.
But let's go ahead and get started, guys. What y'all want to start off with first?
Start off talking Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw, yes. A heck of an episode of Monday Night Raw. A nice little filler spot leading up to Bash in Berlin. A lot of things happening with that episode. Good promos.
With Rhea Ripley.
Yes, we're starting off with Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest's promo with
Damian Priest behind Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. Behind Liv Morgan looking like the Undertaker status, like straight out.
That's straight up T-move. That's like T-move version of the Undertaker.
That's
great, just like a straight. It's like any serial killer movie you see, any horror film, there's the killer right behind
Anything with Dirty Dom is gonna go over. He's the best heel in the game right now.
He's of course people are gonna boo for that,
right?
This man can't talk without you being able to.
He probably can't even take a piss without being booed.
I can believe that.
That would not be a surprising fact.
That man is so hated right now. And it's not just because of him with the love triangle, not just because of him and Rey Mysterio. It's just that man is pure hatred.
Yeah. And just like you said, you called it with the 10 tag team matches coming up in Bash in Berlin too.
Oh yeah. Because look, Bash in Berlin, no disrespect to that. Bash in Berlin's still going to be a phenomenal PLE. Do not get me wrong. However, you have to have your filler matches. We already know the matches that pretty much probably won't change hands and who will win.
There's not
but we do have the surprising matches. Right. We don't know how the match with the Terra Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, versus Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. We don't know how that match is going to go. We just know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because that's a filler match to get it down to bad blood. We do know there will be some interference with Finn Balor because they are building the Finn and Damian Priest feud.
Right, absolutely. Because this is a great filler because of all the drama that's happening. the dissension of the Judgment Day, the building of the new Judgment Day.
It's not the
It
dissension
really,
Judgment Day. It's not a new Judgment Day. It's just straight up Judgment Day. No leaders, no egos.
Yeah, that's true. That's what Finn said.
let's just call it a revision. Then.
Yeah, basically.
That sounds better.
Yeah.
Like a revision
Let's
of the a
let's
revised
just call it
version.
Judgment Day. Let's just go ahead and call it Judgment Day negative 2.5.
Yeah, because two of the best superstars from that group are no longer in it.
True.
I mean, look, you had Damian Priest, World Heavyweight Champion, Rhea Ripley, that was the women's champion. You have Finn Balor. Don't get me wrong, I do not want to at all disclose this guy's achievements that he's had in the wrestling industry at all.
He was the first ever Universal Champion. He was the inaugural Universal Champion.
Possibly Carlito. We're still not sure. We're still on the edge about that one. Carlito's more like the JD McDonough from the past.
He's still cool though.
I mean, is he though?
He's starting to become a cocky little asshole that I like.
Oh, he's coming back to the old school Carlito.
He's the slappable face of the crew.
Smackdown days.
No, I'm actually talking about JD McDonough. He's actually turning into a cocky little asshole that I like.
JD Funko Pop.
Basically, yeah.
Babyface Judgment Day, but now he has that heel status. Dude, he's doing phenomenal with that heel status. He has that little chip on that shoulder right there where he's like, look,
in the ring.
You didn't want nothing to do with me, watch me.
Like his aggressiveness in the ring, match-wise, he is an outstanding performer. I mean, he may be a small feller, but that boy bring the wood.
He said there, Irish.
He's gonna be pretty good.
Moving on to Jones.
Formerly the Irish Ace, Jordan Devlin. You know, I was watching him whenever he was working at Ref Pro. He was working at ICW. You know, so I've seen a lot of that guy's past. You know, especially working against Finn Balor. Because in ICW he was known as Fergal Devitt or Prince Devitt. You know, later on in New Japan, but both of these men have potential to become great. I mean, they're already tag champs, and you've seen what kind of work they can produce. You know, both of them are heels at this point, but you know. Finn was an alright face, but I think he's always going to be a better heel.
I think Damian Priest is going to bring out the demon. We're going to see the demon again.
That's actually was the question I was going to ask. Do you guys think we'll see the demon Finn Balor again?
I think we're going to see
But hey, here's the thing is if we get the demon Finn Balor, we need the demon to get a dub.
Here's the thing.
I can't remember in my head, but I think if I recall, the demon really hasn't had
dubs. But here's the thing, and I agree kind of with Cody when he did that thing. Finn Balor normally only does demons on title matches, on PLEs. That's the only because the paint takes so long. Yeah, it has to be a major storyline with a major match for him to spend all that time on that paint.
But there's something that I kind of got a little hint for that demon coming. Whenever Damian Priest had the match and he lost the world title against Gunther, whenever Finn Balor betrayed him, the look that Finn Balor had, that was an old school kind of demon theme Finn Balor anger face. And that little smile, that's kind of why I got that feel might be coming.
Deviousness, the Prince Devitt's coming out of him basically.
Yes, that's something I can't wait for. And before we go to the next topic, we do have to bring in, because we are talking about Judgment Day, we have to bring up the possibility of the Jay and Sammy tag match next week. I know we had the Sammy conversation going later on down the podcast. However, we do have to bring that potential matchup and what you guys think about that matchup. I mean, it's been said. It literally 2 weeks ago, Sammy said, look, you go ahead. I mean, Jay told Sammy, you go win the title, and then you can be a double champion because the following week we're going to go to the tag team titles. They brought it up again on Smackdown, so maybe we might get that match, and if we do, what's your guys' take on that?
We actually could get that match at Bash in Berlin. They couldn't make it Monday.
They've always proven themselves
it's a filler.
Yeah.
I mean, they've always proven themselves. Like Sammy's definitely proven himself both as a single and a tag competitor. Whenever he was honorary Uce in the first rendition of the Bloodline.
He's such a big pop when the OG Bloodline reconnects.
He's coming back out with the honorary Uce.
Yeah, it's going to be 10 times more than what we heard at the Cage and Home Live that pop that he had.
Speaking of the tag team titles, this is just my take, guys. I don't know your take, but my take on the tag team titles, I don't think Finn Balor and JD should have the titles. I don't think that on SmackDown the Bloodline should have the titles. I think we need to take the titles off of them and put them on more of a faction or a real tag team and let those storylines actually develop with those other characters. I think we're taking too much of the light off of the tag team division. It was a very big pivot point whenever Triple H took over, and I think that's kind of getting lost inside of the woodwork, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Now, okay, so based on my experience in the business, for the betterment of a decade, a little over a decade, I learned a lot of little details whenever it comes to tag teams, or champions in general. Whenever, you want your champions to be heels. In order to bring credibility to the championship.
Exactly.
To where there's enough credibility to the point where, work with me here, to the point where you build up a team, a babyface team big enough to that when they do drop the titles to the babyfaces, that importance, that crowd loses and brings the value back.
Yeah, it's kind of like Cody and Roman.
It's look, the man makes the title.
That's it.
All right.
But the thing is,
title should not make the man. Let the men make the title.
We as fans are right now clinging to wanting to support an actual tag team that's not developed inside of main event factions right now. That's going head to head with other people. We are clinging to have these tag team titles removed and actually have storylines built around them, because we don't have that right now. It's not just that the heel makes the title or the heel can bring the baby faces up.
I know what he's talking about.
Going right now for anything with the tag team.
Yeah, because we went from the Attitude Era having Dudley's, Edge, Christian, and Hardy's literally storyline in 24/7. Yeah, and then you had like Kane and the Undertaker, American Badass Undertaker, and then you had. At one time, Triple H and Stone Cold tag teaming, and the tag titles. That's why that belt that I have is the best belt in the industry, I think. But
think about it. Who did they have to beat to gain those titles?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Heel.
Edge and Christian mainly. Yeah. Edge and Christian made the tag team titles. They were the top heels that carried that belt. And then when the babyfaces won them, like Cody and Undertaker, like Cody and Roman, they made you believe in Cody. As much as people wanted it, they made him believe. And when he finally won it, the freaking ring announcer couldn't even talk. She was crying on the damn thing.
And not everybody has the scoop on what's going on.
Exactly.
The ring announcer doesn't.
I just pulled this up just right now. I'm looking this up online. That's why I'm not looking. I pulled this up online. Just on Raw right now, the tag teams we have: American Made, Authors of Pain, Awesome Truth, Final Testament. We don't have Imperium no more. Judgment Day, we're not worried about them. Latino World Order, they're on different. But we got the New Czech Republic. We can bring the New Czech Republic onto Raw. We can give them the title. We know that the New Day have that situation going on with them. But look, there is so many people right here. We have Alpha Academy. We have, I don't want to say the Wyatt Six because that's literally who we are right now talking about, factions and them not having the titles. But those right there are just like some of the things right there. There's a lot of tag teams
that would be awesome to have
build those rivalries against.
That would be awesome to have Otis and Cesaro as the champions.
Oh, dude, it would be so awesome. Otis would, I would love him. I mean, SmackDown, look at that. We got DIY. We got Legends, we got Pretty Deadly. We have the Good Brothers. We have the OC. We have the Street Profits. We have DIY. We have so many tag teams that can hold these titles and build the tag team division up. Because right now, in my opinion, all we're doing with the tag team division, it's just there. It's just stale.
That's what I think.
Yeah, because they're focusing a lot on their singles competitors as opposed to the tag titles.
Yeah.
But now, no. It's what you do with the time that you're given.
Yep.
Now, because it doesn't Miz said this in an interview a while back. He was on with Chris Van Vliet and he said this: doesn't matter if you got 2 seconds or 2 minutes. you make the best of the time given.
Yep.
And some of these talents are not doing the best that they can, and they're not
Exactly.
putting their best foot
Yep.
into the time that they're given, which is why they're not getting enough attention.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll talk about this later on in the podcast, but I'm just going to say one name and one name only. Bronson Reed.
Next
Okay,
up,
we're gonna push on that.
As we're going through the different parts of the night, so I'm just going to say Bronson Reed. When we get to him, we'll talk more about that.
All right, so moving on.
We got Odyssey Jones defeated Vincent Winnie? I don't know who that is. They bring in all these NXT stars. I don't watch NXT. I don't know who's who.
You're getting a
All
look,
you
bro.
know was that a New Day might actually be hinting at a possible breakup.
It is.
That's a bad thing.
I think it's more like Xavier Woods looking to break away.
Yes, because I'm reading it right now and it says they look at the future of the power of positivity by claiming that Jones was there to replace Xavier Woods. That's what Karrion Kross keeps saying.
No, they said they were using him to replace Big E.
That's what Karrion Kross is saying. Karrion Kross is the final testament emerged. No, it says right here, Karrion Kross is the final testament emerged to cast doubt on what the claiming that Star means to the future of the New Day by claiming that talking about Big E right now.
Look,
Well, kind of.
here's the thing: is that Karrion Kross and the Final Testament. The bad thing about that is that storyline has been going on too long.
Yeah.
And you have to create something.
I feel like
they're not creating enough.
No, I feel like this. I feel like this storyline is basically a filler. Nobody's even paying attention to this storyline.
The only reason why we're paying attention is it's the New Day. We all love the New Day, the power of positivity. Odyssey Jones comes in. He's a big, muscular dude, and this dude, I mean, he is a beady bag.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, he is just. I feel like he's a perfect superstar in the big aspect, but I just think that he's in the wrong storyline.
Yeah.
He's showing his power last week whenever he sat there and, I mean, completely demolished the Altars of Pain. And those are some
That double sidewalk slam.
big.
I mean, he just stood there for a second because like the first sidewalk slam clutch was great, but the other guy from AOP just kind of ran up and jumped into the guy's arms like, no. There should have been, a little bit of development there because it didn't really make any sense. Ooh, cookies.
I just wow.
All I'm saying is you
A
have
fat man's dream. Ooh, cookies.
extra large summer
Oreos,
sausages
bitches.
in the ring
Yeah.
that sit there and demolish the place.
Yeah. I just
You
feel
got
like
three big men.
that is one storyline that I'm not following, and another storyline I'm not following that I don't get. Maybe y'all can help me. Is American Made defeated Alpha Academy.
So that whole storyline is only developed simply because of Chad Gable himself.
Oh, wait, so
Chad Gable, the former leader.
American
of
Made is Chad
Alpha.
Gable's new faction, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
The Creed brothers, whenever they came on to Raw and they were talking with Chad Gable, he still had the American Alpha going on, and you saw these little hints of like a heel status for it. I was all for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we have so many babyface tag teams, we need to go ahead and get a heel one.
Yeah.
So I was really excited for that right there.
I mean, that's another storyline that I'm not really following because they threw us off. How you gonna try to create a storyline with Otis and Tozawa and breaking away and making your own faction, but then you're gonna turn around and you're gonna put the Wyatt Six on them? You're trying to throw too much into one storyline. They should have just did Chad Gable and the Wyatt Six. But it is.
Yeah, I mean, they could have just went with Chad Gable by itself. But
Exactly.
At the same time, he needs a crew, and that's where the Creed brothers came in, to where he didn't have to do all the hard work and get his ass handed to him by 3-4 members of the Wyatt
I'm
Six.
looking up something. Okay, there we go. I wanted to get her name right because I didn't want to show no disrespect to her. But you have Ivy Nile.
Yeah.
Just that there.
Ivy
and
Nile.
all
Maxine
of
Dupree. Yeah.
Yeah, like that right there. Whenever I saw Ivy, and she was talking to Maxine in the back.
Yeah, I remember that.
I got a hint that something was going to happen, and then bam, here we go.
Yeah, I remember that. But
So I was really excited to go ahead and see it. I kind of could see like more of a mixed triple threat match happening possibly at Bash at Berlin, but maybe not. I can kind of see, full American Made versus American Alpha it's a possibility. It could or couldn't happen. It's also a Raw style match, but there is something there as well because you. But the only question is, what's going on with Chad Gable and the Wyatt Six? Is he going to continue that storyline?
I think he will.
Different storyline.
I think he will.
I think it'll carry on for like probably up to Bad Blood.
Yeah.
By Bad Blood, Wyatt Six should be pivoting and moving to the next.
I think by Bad Blood, I think Bo Dallas is actually going to start getting into some matches too. Because he can't sit down. He can't sit down and do the Oklahoma Howdy thing forever. You got to jump in a match. But I want to see Bo, see if he still got it. You know.
Oh, Bo definitely still has it, man. Look at the time he's been spending at the PC before all this started. Like, even with the promos he was cutting leading up to his eventual return.
Yeah, because I remember him talking about Bray.
Promos have been being cut for almost a year in advance.
Yeah, they would always ask Bray, will we see your brother again? And he's like, in due time. In due time, you will see him again. And we did. And it's the best thing ever.
I want to apologize.
As Uncle Howdy, even before the passing, because I mean, he was gimmicking as Uncle Howdy for SummerSlam last year.
Yeah.
In the Mountain Dew Blackout match with LA Knight.
Yeah. Oh, and you keep heel, please.
I'm sorry, guys. My apologies. My wall. I have my charger plugged up onto my phone on the wall, but apparently it's not charging properly.
Breaking news. He's actually charging his phone.
Looky here, sir. I charge my phone, okay? I need to go ahead and get a kind of like camera going.
While he does that, moving on, Damage Control versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. WWE Women's Tag Team title, #1 contender spot ended in a no contest. Are we looking at a triple threat? Are we looking at a triple threat tag team match for the women's title?
It holds a lot of potential.
I think that Clash at the Castle, I think the wrong team won. I understand why they put the titles on them, kind of like that hometown crowd feel.
Yeah.
However, I don't think that they were developed enough to hold the titles.
I
think Shayna Baszler, I think they need to have the titles.
Yeah.
The characters weren't developed enough, but as wrestlers, those two going back into the indies in the UK, they were tearing it up long before they ever signed a contract with WWE.
Yeah.
They were.
Build your people so we know who they are and we can like them and want them.
Yeah.
We did. Right. Here they are coming from NXT. We know the NXT, the little small crowd that knows them. Then you come to the main roster. You don't feature them enough, and then you give them the title. And since they gave them the title, we still don't see them as much.
That's true. I agree.
Yeah, there could have been more development for Isla Dawn and like there could have been a lot more development over the upcoming month because I mean they were former tag team champions already, but they had lost those titles to Baszler and Rousey whenever Rousey was still there. Justin, we were in Lafayette at the Cajun Dome for Smackdown when they dropped those titles.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think that Baszler needs to hold those titles.
It's coming. I think it's coming because
we need heels holding the championship. Better established heels.
Yeah.
This goes back to what I was saying. You know, have the heels give the titles credibility, but it's which heels? Like
I think it's gonna be
Homegirl and Isla Dawn are great wrestlers, but they're not the best heels. So I would put those on better heels like Baszler and Stark.
Yeah.
But I have a problem also here. Is Baszler and Stark, they need to have those titles because they built them up enough where they need the titles. But then on the flip side of the coin, you have Damage Control. If Damage Control doesn't win titles, I feel like they might get lost.
They're going to end up getting lost in the sauce because to me, I feel like they're going to be turning face anytime soon. Anywho's.
Yeah.
They kind of already got that face feel to it.
Yeah, they've already got the face turn moving. You know, because the bigger heel set is turning the original heels faces.
Yeah.
You know, so there's the story built. There's everything that you need to know on it. Because quite honestly, Io Sky was an outstanding singles women's champion in both NXT as well as WWE. You know, and I feel like she could end up having tag gold around her, whether she teams up with Dakota or Shirai. I mean Kyrie. But as of right now, I mean, the possibilities are endless in the situation.
Yeah.
But Dakota and Io, you know, later on I would see them taking the titles off of Baszler and Stark if Baszler and Stark become new tag champs.
Yeah, that's a turn place, yeah.
Because that would be the next. That would be the next story in line in the proceeding.
Next up, we got the promo between Gunther and Randy Orton.
That was an amazing promo.
I'm actually looking at a picture right now, and the caption is Randy Orton RKO'd Gunther out of nowhere after the World Heavyweight Champion called his family a bunch of screw-ups.
Dude, that, like, the moment
he went after
Randy grabbed that mic and threw it down.
He went after
I saw Randy throw that mic, I was like, oh.
Junior?
Yeah.
And then he went after Randy saying he was the biggest screw-up of them all.
Now,
then Q drew his music.
Okay.
Rocky.
Well, we talked about it before. Gunther
is Drew McIntyre coming in and interfering this promo. Drew McIntyre's story is completely done with Gunther. He has no storyline at all. I know you developed the CM Punk storyline.
No, he's saying because he told Adam Pearce that CM Punk was in the back door. He's done with CM Punk. He's moving on, and he said something about what he was moving on to. And he said, don't worry, I'm going to show you. And that's when he went out and interrupted. And CM Punk comes out, takes his own belt off the man, his own belt, and beat the shit out of him. I got a picture right here. That is Drew's back.
More like a government mule.
That is
As a 90s baby, I saw that belt, I'll start having flashbacks.
Hey, you got to record the video. Look at that back.
Right.
Ow. He beat the crap out of him.
Hey, this is what I say. If you're going to use an apparatus, use it and do it right.
I'm calling it now, guys. I'm calling it. I know CM Punk said in the background, but I said this before he even said the background.
You called it before you even said it. Yeah. You called it before you even said it. You said it's going to be a strap match.
The moment he took that belt off, I knew. I just instantly knew. Here comes a leather strap match. I knew it was
right.
That dude's back looked like you can play tic-tac-toe with that board on his back.
And being somebody who's been in a leather strap match before a few times in my career, it ain't no joke.
Someone who got my ass whooped with leather straps, it ain't no joke.
I'll cover your face.
Leather belt hurt.
Wait, I'll cover your face. Watch this. Look at that face CM Punk's making. Like, he means business when he's about to swing that thing.
Oh, you know he meant business.
But he got on him. He got into him like a bicycle with no seat. Right?
Look, he said, look, we can be done all you want, but you still have the bracelet on your wrist. That's my bracelet.
That's it. I like somebody.
As long as that's on his wrist, he's on.
I love how somebody put it in an article. Triple H is so good at what he does. Two grown ass men are fighting over a 50-cent bracelet. That's how good that he is.
But think about it. This is the center. Like to Drew, it don't mean jack.
Yeah.
All right. But to Punk, that is sentimental value.
Yeah.
Okay. And he holds that bracelet dear to his heart, even though it's maybe worth 50 cents in material.
Yeah.
We have a problem here, though. We have a problem with this match.
Mm-hmm.
We have a problem. So, what we have is at SummerSlam, Seth Rollins was the special guest referee.
Yeah.
Because Seth said, and I quote, no referee wants to get involved with you guys because of what you've done. So if they go with this leather strap match, who's going to be the referee? Bronson Reed?
Well, actually, that gives us into the next thing we got right now. Bronson Reed defeats The Miz. And he killed
murders R-Truth.
Like, dude, it doesn't even mention in the thing, right here. After the match, Truth stepped between Reed and The Miz and ended up taking 5 tsunamis.
Look, I believe this man is like 52 or 53. At that age, to take that many tsunamis, I mean, dude was...
I thought Otis Pearson was going to pop on his face. I was hurting in bed watching it.
As somebody who followed R-Truth's career a lot, what I would love is that those tsunamis leads to Ron Killings coming back, and he's like, hey guys, I heard somebody named R-Truth was imitating me. Like, let's go ahead and get some storyline with that.
He would be a good person.
That'd be some funny stuff.
Because look,
like I said, I was thinking of the many faces of Mick Foley.
Yeah.
You'd have the many faces of, right?
But how do we stop Bronson Reed, guys? I mean, he murdered Seth Rollins, previous Raw. He murders Truth this Raw. Who's gonna stop him? What's gonna happen next, guys? Who he's gonna kill?
I think
personally,
they're setting up for a return.
the monster among men.
I haven't seen Braun Strowman in a good hot minute.
Because here's the thing: is like
next thing you
that's
know,
a
his
man.
music gonna hit. He's gonna come charging in.
Well, all right. We have seen Braun Strowman with the Judgment Day.
What about Omos?
Yeah, we haven't really seen much of him.
We saw him at the Cage Dome. He's doing like dark matches now.
Yeah, that media stuff.
You know how bad they're treating Omos right now? He's doing dark matches with Kazuchika Katawa, whatever his name is, Tozawa.
So look,
Akira Tozawa.
You have 3 options for Bronson Reed. You have Omos, you have Braun Strowman, and you have the guy that was with the New Day.
Guess what? You're not thinking right.
Oh, who else you got?
Who was in the crowd?
Mark Henry?
Mark Henry's son.
Ooh.
Jacob Henry. Which, I mean, he was in the crowd with his son Jacob. Now, Jacob. Oklahoma Boomer Sooner coming to the WWE just recently signed a development contract with the PC.
Could be.
And, speaking of that, what do y'all think? Who do y'all think? Where do y'all think he's going to go to start? You think they're going to start him in NXT, or do you think they're going to push him straight to the main?
I think he's going to go straight to the main roster.
I think we should keep him in NXT. Let him develop out there.
I don't think he will though.
I've already got it already.
His eyes are wide open.
Jacob Henry's debut, a feud with Oba Femi.
I don't know who that is, but okay.
For the North American Championship.
Oh, he's an NXT star. Okay.
That's a meat match right there, bro.
It'd be a good match.
But
the bad thing is, Oba is so good. He's so good. I feel like even if his son is trained properly, I feel like Oba will show his weakness.
I really hate to cut you off, but this little thing right here is longer. We didn't even get into the other 2 shows. This is longer than the last recording.
Look, that's because we having fun.
Okay, final match. Top overall, the Intercontinental Champion Ron Breaker defeats Sami Zayn in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
This was a great callback to vintage title defenses. You know, like I was saying, I was talking with y'all guys previously. You know, back in the days of NWA, they were doing their big heavyweight title matches in a 2 out of 3 falls decision to make sure there was a definitive winner. This right here, as the main event for Monday Night Raw, I think it really it spoke a lot about how Triple H is wanting to go back to old school traditions and figuring out ways to have definitive winners for their title matches. And a 2 out of 3 falls match, to me, you can't get any more definitive than that.
Look,
especially between these 2 guys.
I know Daddy Dave Meltzer won't go ahead and say it, but I'm going to say it for him. I'm going to give that a 20 out of 5 stars. 20 out of 5 stars.
Oh, God. Honestly, if I was this strategic, that would have been a 4 1/4 star match. Like, for an Intercontinental title match, out of 5, it would have been a straight 4 1/4, which would have been in, like, you know, A grade. You know?
So who do we have going for the title next, though? Who do you guys think we have going for the title next?
I don't know. Nobody's really stepped up yet.
I mean, unless Jey Uso wants to get a cut.
Well, Dragunov is a good contender.
Dragunov?
Bronson Reed and Dragunov had some banger matches.
Yeah. Is Ricochet still contracted with the WWE?
No, he is not. Actually, I read up this morning that his contract is up and he is expected to
there goes that one.
Yeah. So, we did not mention this throughout the talk. We have to mention and bring it up with Butch and Sheamus.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Pete Dunne, Butch. I'm sorry. Look, don't come at me with the shillelagh because I sat there and called you Butch. I'm sorry. Don't beat me with that. So, from my understanding, it's just he's just angry because he sat there and he changed his name to Butch, and it was that. But dude, he gave him so much more recognition whenever he was teaming with Sheamus, and gave him more limelight. And I can understand the feud and how they're going to build it, but I'm siding, in all honesty, with Sheamus. It's like, dude, you were, under a mid card. You went from NXT. They brought you up. You kind of fell to the sideline, and Sheamus picked you up, and they did phenomenal things.
Yeah.
I think right now the only person that's not doing anything between Sheamus, Pete Dunne, and Roderick Strong is Pete Dunne. Again,
you mean Ridge Holland?
Yeah, Rich Holland. My apologies. Rich Holland. Again,
We're about to get him in a second.
He fell down to the wayside.
With Pete Dunne, though, he did show up the following night on NXT, which we'll get to that in a second. But at the with that being said, with Pete Dunne and Sheamus, there's potential for build. They've been doing this for like what 2 or 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
Between Pete
build
and
it
Sheamus.
to Bad Blood. Again, don't put it at Bash at Berlin.
Absolutely,
put it at Bad Blood. Build that up, because that's a Bad Blood scenario right there. If you do Bash at Berlin, I can also see the reason why they would do Bash at Berlin, because of where they're going to be located, right there by Ireland. So I can kind of see why they would do it, but at the same time,
no fast brawl match.
Good. Moving on to NXT. Charlie Dempsey defeated Tony D'Angelo to win the NXT Heritage Cup.
Which was a pretty solid match. There was a lot of heel work in there from.
I'm gonna let you discuss. I don't know nothing about NXT, so y'all just.
Look,
because I mean, no quarter
Tony
is pretty obvious.
I think Tony is great in NXT. I don't want to see him move up to the main roster just yet.
Oh no, not yet. He's still got more work to do.
Yeah, I don't want him to get lost. The family, the way they got the little mob theme going on right there, I love it. It's great. Don't bring it up to the main roster unless you're going to go ahead and have them go against faction, against the Final Testaments, against the Bloodline, against the Judgment Day, against the Wyatt Six. Do a faction versus faction. Just don't bring them up too early.
Yeah,
that's my big
absolutely. Issue. I mean, Tony D'Angelo still has a lot of work to be done. Like, he's good where he is. Like, if anything, NXT is synonymous with Tony D'Angelo, just like Tony D'Angelo is synonymous with NXT, because he's been on the card for them for like a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they've been doing really good with the D'Angelo family, from being tag team champions to the Heritage
almost
Cup
being
situation.
The NXT champion.
Almost becoming NXT champion, exactly. And I think this right here will prove that Tony, like, for the use of Tony D'Angelo, he can be a Swiss Army knife if put in the right storyline and then put in the right place.
So for people who don't know the Heritage Cup, go ahead and inform them, Cody.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so the Heritage Cup is based on the old NXT UK. NXT UK introduced the Heritage Cup, and it's based on 5 rounds, like 5-minute rounds. And whoever's got the most pinfalls or submissions after those 5 rounds is the winner, and whether you retain or obtain the NXT NXT Heritage Cup.
So
it's a great format of a match, because it really takes back into the wide world of sports of UK wrestling.
Yeah.
I've always had a love for it, because it kind of reminds me of like the old London prize ring rules of boxing. You know,
it reminds me of the old school 60-minute Iron Man matches back in the day.
Yeah, without it being 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like those, it shows you how in that 5 minutes how quick they can go ahead and do what they need to get done to get the pinfall. Compared to where the 60-man Iron Man matches, it was more about who can outlast who and who can get the most pinfalls. Where this is like, all right, we got 5-minute rounds, we got 5 rounds. Let's see how many pins we can get and how fast we can get this done. And we're showing more of a skill than if we can outlast the other person.
Yeah.
I think it's like the first to 3 or first to 4, something like that. I think it's the first to 3 or 4.
Great idea. I love it, and it's one of those things that stays on NXT. Don't bring it anywhere else.
Yeah, it keeps it unique to the NXT brand, so it should stay there. I agree.
Yes.
Next up, we got Lexis King defeating Eddie Thorpe.
Okay, so Lexis King, of course, everybody knows as Brian Pillman Jr.
Yes.
Of course, whenever he went to NXT, they completely repackaged him. He decided to repackage and become his own individual. And the character
he took the last name King. Don't forget, he took the last name King from Jerry the King Lawler.
Jerry the King Lawler. And then Eddie Thorpe, I loved his work in New Japan Strong, because he was one of the trainers at the LA dojo while they were doing New Japan Strong in like San Diego and Los Angeles, and Sacramento. They were doing all those shows, but he's also just a well-rounded striker whenever it comes to his wrestling style.
Yeah.
And the gimmick that he's got here, the DJ thing, I'm not really about that. He should have stuck with the tribal gimmick, because if anything, it brings his native side out a lot more. And to me, I can understand that a little bit better than, trying to do a Robbie E knockoff and DJ Zima Ryan.
Yeah.
From like Impact. No, get that fucking shit out of here. I want to see some wrestling, and I want to see some story behind it and some meaning.
Okay, next up we have Lola Rice defeating Tatum Paxley.
That was a pretty alright match. Also, you had the women's North American champion in Kalani ringside. Oh God, what's her name? Damn it, I can't get her name for the life of me. Wendy Chu comes out from the crowd and puts Kalani in a chokehold, causing a diversion, and it kind of takes away from what's happening in the ring. And Lola Vice took advantage of that against Tatum Paxley and got the win.
Well, it's developing storylines and storylines.
Well, you said
it's like they're all kind of meshing in there.
Yeah, it's building that spider web.
Well, Cody called earlier and said, what a hell of a match. The North American champion defeats Otis. I didn't watch it, so I don't know.
Yeah, Obafemi retains. That was a great challenge from Otis.
That was meat on meat, men.
That was a big meaty men's match for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. There was a
level. Like, you would see Otis and see his size, and you would think there's no way the things that he can do, he can
do. He gets it. Oh, he was pulling out all the stops against Obafemi.
Why
the hell not?
Did he do the worm? Oh, no, the caterpillar.
The caterpillar.
Yeah, I believe he hit the caterpillar elbow down.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
He even got a little...
Oba is so good in what he does, and he's so multi-talented in the ring.
Yeah.
He's so diverse. Like, I seen this man.
And then B, he's an absolute freaking giant. Okay?
Yeah.
Like him
I
and
can't wait
Addison
to see
Jones
what
would probably have a knockdown drag out if they ever cross paths again.
Yes.
But before we get to the main event, Joe Hendry going after the NXT title.
But wait, you can't bring in that yet, because you also have to bring in what brought up to that, which was the Wesley promo.
Wesley. Yeah.
That promo.
Hey, that's what I'm not talking about, y'all. I don't watch this. Like, y'all.
Look, is that that Wesley promo hit so close to home. Yeah. I myself have an older brother. I myself have kids. I love my wife, but I have responsibilities in my life as an adult, and also as I was growing up, where I wasn't supposed to have those, but I still did, where you have to help get the kids dressed, you have to wake up your younger brother, your older brother, you have to make sure they're eating, you make sure they're cleaning. I felt that promo in my soul, because sometimes as a little brother, you don't want to do that. You don't have to keep on looking after people, but you had to do what you had to do. Felt that. I didn't feel like it was a heel turn for Wesley, because he connected with so many people in the audience.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree, because I mean, with that situation, like you heard the crowd was kind of 50-50.
Oh yeah.
In the promo, he basically said, "I'm tired of babysitting these guys. They can go back to TNA and fulfill their dreams there."
Because they were going to take the shine from Wesley again.
Exactly. They were basically trying to ride. He was explaining like they were trying to ride his coattails. So he said, "Y'all can go back over there while I go chase after the NXT championship."
I mean, no disrespect towards Matt Hardy or Jeff Hardy. I love both of those guys. But I mean, if you look at the NXT days or even WWE days, whenever they had world titles and they tried to put them back together, you kind of like eliminated what they previously did, because it was like, oh, the Hardy Boys are back together, or Edge and Christian, or the Dudley Boys. I mean, look at this. You had Devon Dudley, that was the TNA champion whenever he was with Aces and Eights. And Devon was part of the Aces and Eights, but all they could sit there and talk about was the Dudley Boys. It wasn't the full concept of the Aces and Eights or Bully Ray as the actual TNA champion. It's like, oh, it's the Dudley Boys and Aces and Eights.
You got a point.
That's the bad thing, is whenever you have something that's a faction and you break that faction up, leave it apart unless you want to bring it together for a reuniting.
Yeah.
Because all you're going to do
Right.
is you're going to take that main light that's shining on one of those people, or both of them in different eras, and
There you go.
you're going to eliminate it.
Right.
Well,
And that led out to the all-ego Ethan Page to come out, and then Joe Hendry.
well, main event, Chase U defeated Nathan Frazier, and I don't know how to say his name.
Axiom.
Yeah, for the
Axiom.
the NXT Tag Team titles.
Now, honestly, with Chase U, this was a long time coming because they've been doing like the Chase U story arc has been going on for about 2-3 years. You know, having like the extra, like the new students, like they got Thea Hale in there being the hype girl, which she needs to ease up on the red line energy drinks, bro. She needs to pull back a few cc's and just
And Chase, I'm sorry, but Chase U
take a Z-Quil or something. Relax.
Chase U killed me, dude. Chase U was a great faction, and dude, Chase U is a roller coaster ride as a faction. You can be loving them and everything like that, and out of nowhere they just rock. But so here they come back, and you keep on going back up, and you're loving them again.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster of a faction because they change out the members. They have different storylines built inside of Chase U that's not built outside of NXT and the ring, and it's like it's one of those where it's really a long-lasting. It's an NXT / Bloodline faction almost.
Yeah, I mean, Andre Chase has been at the head of Chase U since the inception of the group, and I think it was a great opportunity to showcase what Andre Chase and his partner were able to pull off in the tag match.
Yeah.
It was a great tag match. I mean, I can't complain. It was classic old school meets high fly technical.
Yeah.
You know, like that freestyle, and having those styles clash created a really good match, and I enjoyed it.
100% agree.
All right. Next up.
So, while we doing all that, so I'm about to say, why don't we give a shout out
to
our sponsor?
Show them all, boys. I got one of them
We have
right
this
here.
beautiful looking SummerSlam cup right here that was created by.
And going back to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view that we did.
As somebody who is a horror fan, ladies and gentlemen, we have this beautiful, gorgeous horror fan themed right here that was given to me by my lovely wife. Hi, Kelly. Love you. Hi, Rand, Shauna, and Elvira and Taylor. Love you, girl. This beautiful thing right here. And my girls. She also does cups for kids. Beautiful cups, guys, here.
Yes, fine.
And that's not the only thing she makes, guys. That's not the only thing she makes. I myself am my label, Cajun Daddy Trucker. She makes this right here for keychains. I am a truck driver. As a truck driver, I sometimes don't know, unfortunately, if I'll be coming home at night. And sadly enough, but the thing that always keeps me going, this beautiful little leather little locket that she made just for me to have on my keychain. Always keep my kids at heart. Guys, she makes shirts. She makes probably even mouse pads. You name it, probably this better than
actually
and as well,
right here.
our sponsor is also the official merchandise maker of this team. Was Built Different Cody Hawkins.
Yep.
I got my cup selling for $20. My shirt also selling for $20, and that's all sizes, small leading up to 4X. So if y'all are interested, feel free to look up wait, do we have the QR code ready?
I do. It's on the screen right under you.
Right here.
Yeah, go ahead and hit up that QR code
right there.
Yeah, but order.
What's your phone?
But when it comes to your merch, they need to get in touch with you first, and then pay you, and then you order from us.
Matter of fact, and you can find me at Hawkins88 on Instagram. You can find me at JBD for Life on TikTok, and you can find me on Facebook at Just Built Different Cody Hawkins. DM me for merch information, and
anything else on the QR code, her logo is at the bottom of the screen. It's going to always be there. Alright, moving on to possibly the best show of every week, Smackdown.
Down, smack it.
And we're starting with Nia Jax's celebration with a kendo stick attack.
So that was, I mean, it was. I like the whole.
I don't think they should have started Smackdown like that. I don't think they should have started Smackdown.
It was goofy. I mean, it was really goofy with the situation.
Like
they're utilizing Pretty Deadly.
It is, but I don't think that segment should have opened SmackDown.
Look,
it could have been. It could have been
probably going to come down to Bash at Berlin, you're going to have Mia versus Nia Jax. It's just a simple little filler match. I kind of got a hint, though, backstage, whenever you had the Piper Niven and Chelsea Green with the whole entire situation. It's what I want, guys. I said this on SummerSlam. This is what I want. I want a Piper Niven versus a Nia Jax match, and I think we might get it.
Yeah, I think we're going to get it, too.
I want to see it, and I think we might get it. I think Chelsea Green's going to start off with the feud, and I think it's going to lead up to a Nia Jax versus Piper Niven feud.
I mean, worst case scenario, I would say let the rivalry be with Chelsea Green, but let Piper Niven do all the heavy lifting and the hard work and get Chelsea Green over with the title.
I want to know where they're going with this. With Nia Jax,
let Piper be the muscle, but then after a while, Piper goes into business for herself later on, and then shit really hits.
I'd like to know where Nia Jax is going with this freaking Medusa-looking crown that she was wearing.
Well, she was Queen of the Ring.
But still, where's the crown? Where's the crown that she got? Not that fucking spiky ass shit. Anyway, moving on. For the third time, Carmelo Hayes and Andrade.
You can't sit there and take something that's working and make it not work.
That's been 3 times.
Carmelo, he is phenomenal. Andrade is phenomenal. However, we've noticed with Carmelo Hayes, he did not do good against Cody Rhodes. He did not get good promos against LA Knight. So my problem with him is, if you're only going to be putting him against Andrade, what's going to happen to him once he leaves that feud right there? Is he going to fall by the wayside? He's going to go back to NXT? He was able to mess up an NXT with no problem because that was NXT.
Yeah.
But dude, you're on the main roster. You need to step the game up here.
Yeah, I mean,
Andrade can sit there
first round draft pick, he should be performing like a first round draft pick.
Exactly.
But he's not. And look, Andrade with the whole entire black mask and needle mask.
Oh,
God, I can't wait. I'm so happy he got that back. And
I'm telling you,
give a shout out to his lovely wife, Charlotte Flair. Can't wait for her to come back.
Andrade's going to hold the main title very soon.
I want a minor title by WrestleMania.
Not yet. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, I kind of feel like those two are going to keep the spotlight for the next year, maybe 2. And then we're going to get some different champions coming. Which I think we need. We've had way too much Roman. We're going to have Cody for a while. Then let's go ahead and eliminate those two, take them off the main roster, and let's go ahead and get some people and build them up.
Moving on to the filler matches. Nobody needs sense was Blair Davenport versus Naomi.
I love her. She was phenomenal in TNA, but look, she came back and they lost her.
Honestly, think just like Naomi, if Sasha Banks would come back, she would get a major pop, but they would kill her very fast, just like they're doing with Naomi.
Oh, absolutely. It's like with Blair Davenport, man. I've seen her work going all the way back to Stardom. Okay, whenever she was B. Priestley. Okay, that was her gimmick name then. An outstanding worker, snug as hell, great work, but of course, being in the WWE, she's had to kind of tone down the snug. Well, I wouldn't say tone down the snugness, but tone down the arsenal.
Yeah.
To where, because some of the stuff that she was doing in Stardom, if she would use the stuff that she used in Stardom in WWE, there'd be a lot more women on the sidelines right now on the injured reserve.
Yeah.
Look, let's go ahead and put Naomi inside of the OG bloodline with Jimmy and Jay, Roman, and
even
that can happen.
Yeah. And I can also see Nia Jax.
She's a by marriage.
Yeah.
Look, if you want to bring some females to the other bloodline, let's go ahead and go with the Tonga twins.
Yeah.
They are independent tag team.
Yes.
Yes. Let's bring the Tonga twins.
Hey, here's a name you haven't heard in a minute. Lady Tapa.
How about Jimmy Superfly Snuka?
He did.
Oh, he did, really?
Tamina.
I didn't know that.
Tamina.
Well, Tamina Snuka would be in
Tamina's still in there.
as well.
Tamina's still signed.
I think she got released.
I don't know.
She was part of that batch of releases a month or so ago.
Moving on, Kevin Owens defeated Grace Waller.
This was basically just a warm-up match for KO to get ready for Bash in Berlin.
Whenever KO sat there and going in for that pump-up pile driver on the apron, I was so excited. I was like, come on, bring that Ruthless KO back out. Come on.
All right, that NXT KO.
And
yeah, but
I saw Cody run.
But did you see Cody's face when Kevin Owens picked up that title?
I knew that was going to happen. I told the wife. Whenever you saw Cody take off running and he threw that title in, that title landed perfectly at the feet of Kevin Owens. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I see what we got going on here. But, dude, he looked so good with that title, though.
Before we get into...
It was about as perfect as whenever Brock Lesnar threw the mic at Roman for that match. Whenever he was standing on the truck trail, he just said, poop, and it went.
Before we go to the next one, guys, I looked it up. And from what my understanding is that if Kevin Owens loses this match, this will be the 10th world title shot they had that he's lost in a row.
Yeah, we were talking about that. But before we jumped into the semi-main event, we should feel ashamed of all of ourselves because we did not talk about the Wyatt segment on Raw. So let's do it now.
The thing about that is the Wyatt segment is the whole that we didn't even talk about American Made versus Alpha Academy.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
No, I don't think we did. No.
We did.
Ladies and gentlemen,
No,
this is the thrill of chasing. While we're getting into it, we missed a couple times. So
no, we didn't miss because Jimmy was like, "Oh man, what's her name?" And you was thinking about Maxine Dupree and other. We said it. We talked about it. We just did. We brought up the Wyatts.
Sometimes some of us are a little bit older than the others, and we sometimes
we did bring up the Wyatts, but we didn't bring up the segment that Bo Dallas had. So and the big question: who is the Wyatt Six? Who is the sixth member?
Bo Dallas segment was a very wrestling lovers tearjerker. Because he brought up the match in Pittsburgh, brought up about that's where it all began with Bray Wyatt. And
it happened the same way. Bray sat in the chair and watched the two fight. Same thing. But who is the sixth member?
Sit in that chair.
With Sister Abigail.
It's the lantern. The lantern is the sixth. That's Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt spirit. Exactly.
Bray Wyatt spirit.
Until they say it, we don't know, but I just thought I'd bring it out. I just thought about it, but
it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
So the lantern is Bray's life.
Pivoting back to SmackDown to the semi-main, the Street Profits defeated DIY to become the #1 contender to the tag titles.
This was a pretty well laid out tag team match between DIY and the Profits.
Sorry about that, guys. Give me a second. My daughter smashed her finger last week. And her nail looks like it's starting to come off, so she wants to show me. So I kind of look at it. So you guys go ahead and talk while I check this out.
Yeah, overall, the tag team match was really good between these two teams. Both teams got to display what they can do. You know, of course, they didn't pull out all the stops.
No.
It was pretty close to a PLE quality match.
Yeah.
You know, but of course, Street Profits got the win. They're the new #1 contenders to the tag team championships. And I really hope that something good comes out of a tag team title match at Bash in Berlin.
Yeah. I think the title match should have been at Bash in Berlin, but they're doing it on SmackDown, so it is what it is.
Yeah, they're doing it on SmackDown. Like, I wish they would have. I mean, they could have used it as a filler match at Bash in Berlin, but at the same time, Jacob Fatu. The fans and the people who surround him, they know about his record. I was he was lucky to even get across national lines for the Canada.
Yeah, exactly. You actually just weaseled into the last thing of the whole podcast.
We gotta go this. We gotta go back to the tag team. This is the same thing, guys, that I said with the Raw tag team situation. Is that you have a main event faction holding this title while they're still building a Roman Reigns versus Solo, while you got two people that, in all honesty, I don't think should have even won against DIY.
Yeah.
I understand it was Bloodline, and you're like trying to build the Bloodline up. However, you could have easily sat there and had that match, some kind of disqualification, keep the titles on DIY and have DIY versus Street Profit. Yeah. Because what we're doing is we're basically taking the titles and making them stale. And nobody likes stale bread.
No.
No.
Well, the Magic Man that Cody brought up, main issue, Jacob Fatu leads a vicious attack, correct myself, with a boot on, as the Bloodline brutalized Roman Reigns.
Or not
That
just any
was-
boot, a brace boot. Like,
Yeah.
because he did bang up that foot at.
Yeah, they're dragging that out. That's not real. That's part of the storyline. They're dragging that out.
I mean, you did
So-
kind of see his chin hit the corner of that
Yeah, he
table,
did,
though.
he did,
I
he did.
looked at it and I was crazy. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
no.
Well, the
Oh, that looked
funny
like
thing
a
about
tape.
that whole thing was that apparently Jey Uso was backstage and he was set for a dark match with Damian Priest in a tag match, and the crowd hated that he came out after Roman Reigns went through a table, and everybody's like, "Dude, what the heck? You was backstage the whole time."
Yeah, you ain't
And
coming out right out.
Right?
Like, what are
Not
you
doing
doing?
that, but like you said earlier, as you noticed, the
gotta
last 2
build it.
weeks,
It's a building.
Roman Reigns has not said a word.
So he hasn't said nothing. You wait for the wise man to come. He's gonna break out the mic, and I kind of see maybe Roman versus Jacob at Bash of Berlin.
Yeah.
Roman versus Solo
For the
at
necklace.
Bad Blood,
Yep.
and then you have OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline at Survivor Series War Games. I kind of see that's where we're going for the build.
And that's called a Fala. The
Fala Hala Hala
neck-
Hala.
Oh yeah, the necklace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hala Hala.
That's it. We're,
Like Teddy Long. Hala Hala.
that is the week review.
The Samoan tribal chief necklace.
That is our week review of all the shows. This is going to be weekly, every Sunday. Today is a special day. It's Saturday. We might do it every Saturday night because, you know, we got work Monday. So we might start doing this every Saturday night, maybe. We're going to work on something.
Depending on my new schedule I have. Depending on my
Exactly.
new schedule.
We're going to work on something.
Right,
but
right.
just look at the uploads, like and subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and pay attention to all our socials. Go we're all going to post when we go live. Cody, bring it home.
All right, guys. We appreciate y'all coming out. Like Justin said, like, share, subscribe. Spread the word of the Shed Podcast. All right. For Jimmy and Justin, I am Just Built Different Cody Hawkins. Catch y'all guys later.
All right, guys.